author, writer, game designer. He has multiple RPG tie-ins as well, and has had a major hand in multiple 4th edition books, and can currently be seen on Twitch's Dungeon Scrawlers channel, where he and the entire cast is comprised of authors and writers. Welcome, Eric Scott DeBee.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys.
I am sorry, I am trying to be helping, but
What happened to Trinia?
she just disappeared.
I did.
We lost the kid.
I am not understanding. She just got hit by one of those raisins. She disappeared. She is gone.
And Arabella said I turned to stone?
You were a statue. Must come back.
You know what? I just give him a hug. A big chalky hug.
Okay.
This is not the time!
Yeah.
It's D&D.
If it's a home game situation, and let's say you've gone into it thinking, I've got a really cool idea for a horror one shot and I'm running it and the players are just making jokes and things, then this comes back to my number one rule whenever anybody pops into anything that I'm doing, streams or whatnot, and they say, do you get any advice for new players? I say 4 words, and anybody who's from my community who's in chat will repeat them with me now. Talk to your players. Conversation is key. You've got to have that discussion. There is nothing to stop you pausing the game and saying, hey guys, I'm trying to create an ambience of horror here. I've worked really hard at it. I've turned the lights down and put candles on and stuff. And I'm trying. I feel like these like silly names for that you're like coming up with silly nicknames for the bad guy and stuff. It's really undermining me. Can we please try and keep this on genre and then go back into it? And your players, unless they're dickheads, will go, yeah, absolutely, you're right. We were fucking around a bit much.
Yep.
I'm like the Oprah of action economies.
Glad y'all came to our hootenanny. Good to see you, boss. How you enjoying yourself so far? Hey, get her another ale on me. No, get her 2 ales on me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The
Why
croaky
not?
bartender
I just
comes
go
back
just start
and sets
drinking.
2 mugs. They are about to start day 2 of the 3-day doomsday counter. It is about 1 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier, in the Mushfens, a swampy frontierlands where this hidden relic is located. They've freed giant kraken-like octopi.
It is Toivo's turn. Toivo appears, closes his eyes as you explain what's going on, turns its head to look at, or to its head so it's facing the Hound of Tyndalos. So Matt and Brian, you hear the cat just growl real low and dangerous. Nick, you hear meow meow, I can smell you, meow meow meow. Roll your attacks. Far away from, apparently. And switch our map.
Whoa.
Say hello to the Forgotten Realms.
Well, some of it at least.
Oh,
it is. It's all of it.
It's the whole effing thing.
Well, it's this whole part of the continent, yeah.
It's the whole part of the continent, yeah.
All right, Majenko flies over. Larissa, I've got you!
Can he do a flyby heal?
Sure.
Get out! Get out! No!
Sure, he'll go right there. And the boots of teleportation. So you can be your own delivery service.
There you go.
Wow.
I mean,
like
I
it.
don't know. Unless Naveen, you want it. Sorry.
No, it can go to Delabor. That's okay.
This divvying up is not how I expected it to go.
I don't know. Like,
Body already present in the room where you ultimately fought the kind of shade of Scaravingian. That I think it was
Your cat jumped up on the table with a sock in his mouth, or her mouth, and was walking across the table with a sock in their mouth.
there is a pair of
But your characters don't know that. So behave as though your characters don't know, but you players do. So I can be like very like, imminent danger. What are you going to do? A bucket full of puppies. But like the players know that I'm not actually trying to like traumatize them.
Tell me you at least washed your hands before you picked that up, right?
What?
Well,
Why? What? No,
No,
it's what she gave it to me at the end for paying that extra fee that she has.
wait, and I kind of look back into the.
Yeah, and you look over and you see that there's like 4 outhouses next to each other.
Nick, you were getting some outhouse
loving?
strange, were you?
I mean,
No,
I guess
there weren't. There wasn't. There wasn't.
cheese man, cheese
Cheese
man.
No,
man.
there wasn't. Guys, there
Cheese.
wasn't a. There was a tent here. There was a fortune teller tent right here.
Nope, pretty much looks like a suit
Everybody
to
can
me.
make perception checks.
It's a poop knife. Thank you, Lyric.
Blink dogs are like, we don't want to kill the doggos. Like they're doggos. They're so adorable. And I'm like, all right, so we're gonna call it the ethically sourced blink dog cloak. And so basically they were blink dogs that when they died of old age, they donated their bodies to the magic item industry such that their skins could then be turned into a blink dog cloak, which would give the barbarian Misty Step 3 times a day.
As someone
My
who's had to
favorite
like
by
brush a husky, I feel like you could definitely make a whole cloak just out of like the fur,
fur, yeah.
that they shed.
Yes.
Oh, is it a blink dog?
There we go. Look, he just appeared out of nowhere.
Hi, honey. Hi, sweet pea.
Hello.
It's like
I heard someone say dog. Oh,
Looks like it almost bears like an Osiriani style to it. There's a veil over her face. She wears a shawl that is kind of embossed with different jewels at the end of it. She wears long, beautiful, flowing robes of the finest silk. Very elegantly dressed.
Doesn't look like
only
it on our
has-
side.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that prepared. He is going to. He's gonna unload one of his most powerful spells at all of you.
fuck.
Magic missile.
Kill.
First of all, we have the father of Forgotten Realms. He's written source material for multiple RPG systems, and most recently has been working with the Fate of the Norns Athcliath Living City. Please welcome Ed Greenwood to the Game Master's Workshop. Hi, Ed.
Hi.
Next, we have Chris Jackson. He is known for his many series of pirate and sailing novels, including his most recent book in the five-fold universe, Pacifica. He has written multiple RPG tie-in novels, as well as contributed for books such as Paizo's Ships of the Inner Seas. Welcome, Chris Jackson, to the show.
Ooh.
And also author, writer, game designer. He has multiple RPG tie-ins as well, and has had a major hand in multiple 4th edition books, and can currently be seen on Twitch's Dungeon Scrawlers channel, where he and the entire cast is comprised of authors and writers. Welcome, Eric Scott DeBee.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys.
I am sorry, I am trying to be helping, but
What happened to Trinia?
she just disappeared.
I did.
We lost the kid.
I am.
Day troll in the twilight, quest begins at night. City trapped in chaos, crimson thrones lost light. Whispered spells and shadows, rune lord casting fear. Heroes forge their fate now, Corvosa draws near. Rise up, heroes brave, face the rune lord's way. In the dark we stand, Corvosa in our hands. Battles fought with valor, blades of fire and steel. Ancient runes of power, truths they now reveal. Tyrant's throne is trembling, echoes of the past. Runes of wrath are crumbling, victory at last. Echo chants of glory, legends carved in stone. Claimers of the story, city now our own. Whispered spells in shadows, rune lord casting fear. Heroes forge their fate now, Corvosa draws near. Rise up, heroes brave, face the rune lord's way. In the dark we stand, Corvosa in our hands. Battles fought with valor, blades of fire and steel. Ancient runes of power, truths they now reveal. Tyrant's throne is trembling, echoes of the past. Runes of wrath are crumbling, victory at last. Echo chants of glory, legends carved in stone.
Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I ended it a little bit early, apparently. So welcome on in. I didn't have the little thing up. I couldn't tell where we were at in the song. Thank you guys for joining us. It is the Acclaimers Conquest night. I want to thank everybody for coming on in early, joining us, getting prepared for us. You may see an additional face, or as we might know, a familiar face from the first run through of the Curse of the Crimson Throne. Brian has made a cameo appearance as his character, Brianna. So welcome on in, Brian. Thank you for rejoining us on this amazing new campaign. Mwahaha.
Thanks for having me.
So, with that being said, I want to say to everybody in here, you may look in your chat. You might see that we have 5 new emotes. You might not see them. For those of you who are regulars in here, people who donate bits all the time, there were spots open and I haven't filled them, and there were people that had them unlocked. And so some of you, high rollers in the bit department, have some new emotes available to you. So feel free to make sure to check and see, as we had the first 3 that were unlocked were all Pippin emotes. We now have the rest of our household, not so household pets, as emotes as well. So you guys can enjoy those new silly little emotes. Of course, it's also Octavius Appreciation Week, month, day, year was yesterday. Yesterday was the day, but yeah, for the entire month we have some new Octavius emotes to troll him with. So you can make sure to check that as well. With all of that being said, like I said, it is the Claimer's Conquest, and we are picking up where we last left off, in which case we will let Andrew, our wonderful GM, tell us where we're at.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining Claimer's Conquest. The last we left off, we were having something of a montage. Couple days. And in this last instance, we started with Sephi, who had a rendezvous with the Castle Seneschal Neolandis for lunch at a private location. Upon arriving, she had found that he had commissioned an arcanist to cast Mage's Private Sanctum on their meeting space. And he revealed that he had researched the surname Miles had given in open court but a few days previous, which was the Henderthanes. Discovering House Henderthane, their execution, and their banishment from Cheliax, he revealed that House Henderthane was seating the nobility with devil-spawned children, tieflings, sired by the devil Oryxenes. They were executed in the plot, and Neolandis gave Sephi the offer of her and her family having political asylum under the government of Corvosa. He presented the plan, if she was amenable, that he was going to propose an official document to the king, and he'd like her and all her family to sign the document. They had a nice dinner in which Sephi missed every advance he sent her way, and he returned to her a relic of her family's, which was a brooch of the house made of onyx with tiny garnets in its eyes, a scorpion, the crest of House Henderthane. Also in this game, afterwards, Sephi had sent a sending to Fort Rannick to check in on and see if their cloud giant friend Chloe had arrived and how things were with Jakardros and the rest of the people there. There was a gathering of people. They were supposed to be recruiting more there. And she learned that there was a possible mutiny at Fort Rannick. As she was leaving, she was struck with a vision of Naveen in a fight to come. Miles, Sephi, Naveen, Dalibor all went to Fort Rannick to reveal the news of the impending attack and to resolve the issue of dissension in the ranks. They found this cloud giant to be held prisoner at the Black Arrow in a makeshift prison at Fort Rannick. and there was a seasoned soldier by the name of Tiberius Crane who was leading dissidents who did not believe that giants had any place in the protection of Turtleback Ferry or amongst the ranks of the Black Arrows. The mutiny was not a power play. It's Tiberius's genuine attempt to protect what he believes is right. And it was more of a clash in ideologies between himself and Jakardra, serving as Miles' direct mouthpiece, rather than a attempt to take over. Fort Rannick is still being repaired. There are still signs of the damage from the Hook Mountain Massacre, and they are still working to fix the keep, though it remains an impressive fortification that will likely be useful in the war to come. With that, we return back to Corvosa, and we had it going late into the night. All of you spread your separate ways. Many of you are keeping watch with your spells and continuing to work through the night with things such as crafting or studying. But Dalibor, we start with you. You are in the Golden Key in your alchemy room, working on crafting, assisting in part with a homunculus that is ordered by a certain noble, but also working on much of the crafting of the floorwares that you really don't have time to do during the typical 9-to-5 workday where you're out dealing with political issues. I'd like you to roll a perception check to start us off. And if your dad is there, you can roll for him too.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted to not talk over. Did I did get the chance to talk to Jagari. I know we didn't role play it, but in the character at some point did, right? No?
You haven't yet. This is the morning of, so it's early morning. It's like 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay.
So you would be talking to him.
I just wasn't sure if that was covered during the 3 days and we just didn't role play it, if that was one of the hand waved things or not.
Not yet, no.
Okay. Or no, I sent my dad to do it, didn't I? I sent my dad to do that before, because I was going to do it, and then we had to go to Fort Rannick, and I sent him instead of going myself. I sent my dad to do something because I couldn't do it.
I thought that your dad was working on dealing with the Brevik emissary.
Right.
Yep.
That is correct. Okay. All right.
But there is still time to meet with Jagere today. It's the gala isn't until
today,
this evening at 7 p.m.
All right. So you wanted me to roll dice or something?
Yes, perception checks.
Perception. I do not have a helmet on. And my papa is also rolling. His is a that. I need to go and make sure to turn on that people can redeem to see the dice rolls. But those are my rolls.
Okay, 25 and 19. You notice your father appears to be distracted with his work because you don't expect anything to happen in your chemical lab that isn't related to what you're working on. Typically, you're in your home, you're in a safe spot. You notice something is off because the hairs on your neck begin to stand up and your ears begin to pop. And you can feel this arcane static. Just your knowledge of the arcane, your spellcraft, you can feel when powerful magic is being weaved in the area you're in. The room, the candles dim slightly in the room, the lights dim slightly, it becomes darker.
Can I tell where something might be coming from? If it's like through like a scrying type spell.
You can make a spellcraft.
I will make a spellcraft. If I can find it. There it is. Oh, gee. 41.
Wow. Okay. So the sensation is some of the elements of the sensation are kind of similar to when you or Arabella teleport into a location, although not as much as when you teleport as when somebody is teleporting to you. But this is not exactly that. This is the result and the signs of a shadow walk being pinpointed into the room you're in.
All right. I go. I look at my dad. I go, "Da, incoming."
He turns and
I
looks
pull
at
out
you.
stuff,
He says,
and I pull out stuff for fighting combat.
he turns and looks at you, and he says, "Very soon." And he points. Does a 31 beat your CMD? You are not flat-footed because you are aware of this.
Just got to find where I have it written. 24 is my CMD.
You feel something grabs you. You take 3 points of piercing damage. You feel like you are in the loving embrace of an Iron Maiden wrapping around you, as a big bear hug comes from behind you, and you hear a very familiar voice from behind you go, "Hey, Dalla Daddy! I'm looking for my Psyche sister, but I can't find her."
Ow.
How you doing, big guy?
Can you let me go quick, please?
Oh. And you feel yourself drop down slightly as whoever had sneaked up behind you had kind of bear hugged you and lift you off the ground. And who you see as you turn to look at this person is the elven cleric of Zong Kuthan, Leori Vaus.
And like when she lets go, like because I get the gist, I get her religion, right? So like I'm not offended by the fact that she hurt me, because that's her thing.
She's always said that pain is just a way to spend the time with one another.
Yeah. So as we separate, I'll take her hand and I'll pat it gently. And I'll say, "It is good seeing you too. Oh, those are sanitized, right?"
Oh yeah, I clean them before every session.
Well, you're going to have to clean them again. I think you got blood on them.
Later.
She doesn't stay here anymore. She's got her own place.
Yeah, she's very secretive. She doesn't want me to know where she is. But I'm coming not just for a house call. I've got some pretty important news that I think everyone's going to want to hear, including your king.
Well, you want to finish up here for a little while? I need to talk to Leori.
Yes, of course.
We'll bring her to a place where we can sit and have a small chat.
Mm-hmm.
I will bring her, not up front, I'll bring her to the back where, like, we sit, or upstairs in the sitting area.
Okay. Yeah, her appearance was well, it's too early to be open
if we go into
yet.
the front room where there's a bunch of shit laying around, she's going to be playing with stuff while we're talking, and she might just damage the merchandise, so...
Yeah, cause something to blow up.
Yeah. So I'll take her upstairs and I'll sit her down and I'll... We have no problem.
Okay.
You know what the Rune Lord is? What a Rune Lord is? Right?
Nope.
Picture mortal version of God.
You see her eyes are twitching.
Oh, many of same powers and reckoning, but mortal and can interfere in mortal business and all of those kinds of things. And very ancient, very old Thessalonian era. And one has come to life and wants to enslave the entire continent.
Wow, sounds like a fire day.
Yes, he's coming here first. He's on his way. We don't have much time. I haven't slept.
What are you gonna do?
We're trying to put together a team. However, it is good you are here. We may be in need of your services, in fact. What do you have?
I should probably... I don't want to repeat it a bunch of times. I should probably say it when everybody's together.
Well, you know. I lean back.
But I will give you a little...
If you can't get the gist of it across, it'd be good to have somebody who knows more to help you along the way.
I'll give you a little teaser. You said that you have a new problem. Well, this is an old one.
Did he survive?
Maybe.
Wait, you said it had to do with the king.
Well, I said that the king would want to hear it.
How do we know it's safe for the king?
What do you mean?
Wiggle my finger at her. I'm just checking. Sometimes you've made decisions that don't necessarily help us once in a while.
My psyche sister is going to be there, and my soul sister is going to be there. So I wouldn't try anything untoward with your precious king.
Wait. Your soul sister is going to be there?
Well, I hope so. This is probably going to really be concerning to her.
Okay. Well, does she know? Have you already said something to her?
No, you're the first. I tried to talk to my psyche sister, and wherever she is, I can't really talk to her very good. So I came here because I know this place, and somebody's usually always here. And you were here, so you're the first person I talked to.
Okay. How urgent is it? Can the toy tell people are awake? We've already interrupted and woken up the king in the middle of the night 3 times this week.
I mean, yeah, I guess it can wait as long as no Umbral Court agents show up here. They're kind of like assassins, but sometimes they can be emissaries, but you know.
So is it that bad? Do you think somebody's going to show up to try to kill King?
I don't know. What would you do if somebody sent a red mantis after you that murdered you in your home?
Well, he was going to murder us anyhow, so. I don't think he would send it to the king. King had nothing to do with it.
It doesn't lessen the sting. I'll tell you that.
Ugh, great. Well, I guess we'll...
I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know. I just saw that he is back and he's different.
Out of character, does this ring a... Like, do I know something about this as Nick? Or as, like, was there something else? Maybe not even as Nick, but this dude's... Dalibor, wasn't there something that happened? My memory is shot. I feel like we know something about this. Maybe that's out of character.
Like sending the red mantis lady to kill Cial?
No, I knew that we sent the red mantis, but I thought that there was something about like somebody pretending to be him or something else or something along those lines, or like maybe there was like a cryptic message about it or something like that.
Leori sent Arabella a message afterwards being like, I'm outside his house and it looks like he's dead and blah blah, and Arabella's like, you should probably not be there because that's a little bit incriminating on you.
Right. Actually, the first thing I'll say is, are we sure it's actually him and not somebody pretending to be him?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I will see if I can rouse the troops, but the Arabella is the one that is most important there because, well, don't the red mantises have a way of stopping people from being brought back?
Yeah, they usually do.
Maybe that wasn't part of the agreement that she had with the red mantis. Great, just what we need. Assassins. Are you safe?
Is anyone safe?
Are you safe given the consequences of the actions that have happened? Or the circumstances?
Nothing's happened yet.
But if you walk around in public back home, are people going to get you?
Well, if he sees me, he's probably going to get me.
Yeah. All right. Let's, I guess, send out a message, let people know. Let me see if I have a thing here, and I'll start rummaging through my things and see if I can find a sending, because it's not the morning yet, so I haven't memmed new spells, which I haven't done in my book either. And actually, I'll go into the next room. Bob, do you have sending? And I'll see if he's got a sending I can borrow.
Does he?
Yeah, that's what I'm just gonna look. Let's see here. He's got Seek Thoughts, Non-Detection, A, Dark Vision, Detect Thoughts, Stone Fist. He does not. He does not. He doesn't even know it. So, sadly, I do not have sending that I can see, that Nick can see. But you're more than welcome to stay here.
Oh, I gotcha. You see, she pulls out a wand and hands it to you. There, use that.
I do have one. I have one memmed. But use the wand. I will. I'll attempt one on Arabella, and just say, Leori is here. She says Sial is no longer dead. There might be complications. Wants to meet with the king in the morning. I will also send that to. I'll send it to Larissa, Brianna, Naveen. I'll send it to the party. I'll send a message to everybody in the party. Miles wouldn't even know what it is, so I'm not going to be sending it to Miles or Seffi. But I'll send it to the OG party, which I think will be like 5 sendings off of her wand.
She has
Fun.
1 charge left.
I think Miles and Steffi are staying at the Golden Key. Isn't that right, Miles?
I think Miles is actually just still chilling at the school, keeping an eye in the basement.
Oh, well, Steffi's there because she sleeps.
Okay. Well, you'd be sleeping,
Miles
so
is
probably
also
wouldn't hear it,
hanging
but
out
yeah.
with Chloe.
So the conversation with Leori would have been in the hall where we do all the storage and load the crates and all that kind of stuff.
And what time of day is it?
Early morning.
Like 4
Okay.
a.m., 3 or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say, you want to hang out while we finish project and then I'll make breakfast?
Yeah, breakfast sounds good.
Do I recall you like yours with a lot of spice? Heat?
Yeah.
I believe you said so it stings just a little more than a little.
Yeah.
I got you covered.
All right. So, while Dalibor, Leori are doing that, in Westdock, there is it was once an Arcona warehouse, and in the events of the past few months was purchased supposedly by the monarchy and converted into a hospital and triage center. Only it really wasn't that. It was a testing ground for Ergothone clerics that were creating virulent diseases to kill all the poor people of the city. It is not that any longer, thanks to the heroes of Corvosa. Dr. Davalos and Lady Andyson were defeated months ago, and this building sat vacant. Still with all its hospital beds, still with all its hospital tools, still with all of its much of its hospital paperwork and some of its storage bins and some of its supplies. In a meeting that most of you aren't privy to, but one is, the court healer is appointed the task of opening the city's first real hospital. Typically, the temples, specifically the bank, handle the healing of those and the attending to of those that are sick. But this becomes a more secular effort, one that is sponsored directly by the government. The Hospice of the Blessed Maiden is being converted into an actual hospital. And the one who is overseeing that monumental effort is none other than hero of Corvosa, Brianna Shadekiss. Brianna, give me kind of a picture of what it's like over the past maybe 5 days of you renovating this hospital. It's it was a warehouse. It's got 2 stories to it and an underground section as well.
If I recall, because this was where the blood veil was being, that whole thing was being crafted and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the main floor and the upper floor will be the hospital proper. I would probably try to keep the basement stuff under a little more lock and key. But I imagine Brianna would just be just trying to roll her sleeves, get to work, and try to get it cleaned up and ready to go as quickly as she can.
And this isn't a one-person job. You're able to gather
right.
some volunteers in the local community that are willing to help. Because, you know, you and most of the other people in the Heroes of Corvosa are local celebrities. So
right.
When you go out and you ask or you throw out flyers or something like that, it's not very hard to attract a crowd to come help you. So it's simple enough. There's an elevator room that leads to the subterranean level. You are able to lock that and separate it off, but there's a lot of beds in this probably close to 50 beds on the main floor.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of work. There's a lot of like cleaning because this place was a sick den for one of the most contagious diseases Corvosa has known.
Right.
So it's largely there's a lot of cleaning, but it's just long works and a lot of work long time and a lot of work to do. You in the wee hours of the morning, probably while you're actually sleeping, receive a sending that wakes you up. Dalabor's voice.
More bandages. What?
Essentially, it's what he said before.
Okay. Okay. I will wake myself up and get my gear on or what have you. And then I'm assuming the hospice area has not been open to the public just yet. Like we're still
not yet.
Okay, so then I'll lock it up and head to the Golden Key.
Okay. Naveen, you are woken up by ascending with Dalabor's voice telling you about the old enemy who has reared their ugly head.
I'll come on over. I'll reply to the sending. I'll come on over. I don't even know why I bother trying to sleep anymore. 2 nights in a row. And I will, on my way out, let Miles know that I'm taking off, that we have a potential assassin situation. Or whatever, Dalibor. He can come with if he wants, or stick around.
Right. Well, I was already awake anyway. only need a couple hours of sleep a night, so I will provide aid where necessary.
Great.
So Miles heads over with Arabella. You are probably not sleeping. You are in the throes of mania as you are researching books that are just spread all around.
Yeah.
And you actually receive a sending with Dalabor's voice.
Hmm. How much time do I have to complete my current research?
Definitely not enough. You were just about to start.
I'll check what time it actually is.
The sun isn't up yet.
And I need a full 8 hours to do the research.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start making my way to teleport back to Corvosa.
Okay.
I know who this is on though, right?
Yeah, I think he name dropped Ciel.
I will spend an Arcanus point. Oh, actually, I have an open slot in my 9th levels. Before I leave, I will open up my spell book and I will use my open 9th level slot to mem discern location.
Okay.
And then I will greater teleport to Corvosa. We're going to be heading to the castle anyway, according to the message.
If you're meeting with the king, you would meet him at the castle.
Okay. I'll respond back to Delabor and say, sorry, one more question. Is Shawnee's at the castle? Do I know?
You're not sure.
Okay. I guess I will just teleport to. I'll teleport to the Golden Key because then we can all draw together in one spot.
Okay. Everyone gathers at the Golden Key. When we started this campaign, we had descriptions of many of the characters that are present here. However, now that everyone is together, Brian, I'd like you to give a description. What does Brianna Shadekiss look like for our
Sure.
audience?
So Brianna is actually a young adult human, maybe or just around 18 years of age, believe it or not, although sometimes doesn't seem that way. Slim, relatively athletic, all things considered. Glossy black hair. But what really tends to the most prominent feature, very pale, like porcelain-esque skin. But what seems to draw your people's attention is that her eyes are completely black. And in fact, I think we said her tongue might have been black too, but
Yeah.
if I recall. And she definitely carries herself as someone who, in general, tends to run pretty light in terms of like arms and armor, although she's got several weapons on her. But like lighter leather style armors, I believe. Oh no, mithril breastplate. Never mind. Just kidding. I guess a little bit more armor than before, but and yeah, kind of comes off as a much more bubbly version of a Wednesday Addams vibe.
By the way, I know you have crafting feats. If you were working on anything, you can add 5 days to whatever you were working on. Or if you'd like
Okay.
to decide that you wanted to work on something, you can add 5 days to it.
Fair.
But everyone arrives, and this is the first time that Brianna and Naveen have been in the same room in almost a week. And Miles, with what your sense motive is, you can tell that there's a weird energy between the two of them.
I mean, has there been a sense motive between the energy between Naveen and Arabella? Because there's gotta be a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Miles has
Arabella
picked
was
up on
kind of
Yeah.
Arabella was kind of transparent about that.
Yeah, Miles kind of already knows about this, but this is a different energy than that.
Is Steffi there or no?
Seffi's probably just waking up
Okay.
because she hears the sounds of a bunch of people gathering somewhere. And
I mean, Miles probably would have pinged her with the telepathic bond, like, you might want to wake up. So, yeah.
It's very early though.
Yeah, maybe more trouble.
Oh. Okay. Steffi will use her ring to change out of her illusionary pajamas into clothes.
so Miles and Seffi, the two of you have never met or seen Leori before. You see a gothic elf dressed in spiky armor, spiky chainmail, wearing the holy symbol of Zon-Kuthon around her neck. And she's just kind of standing there, hand on her hip, in a sort of semi-sassy pose. And she says, "Oh, this is everyone. Okay, great. So Daladude might have told all of you, but we got a little bit of a problem. I saw Cial. I think he's back. And I was told that the Red Mantis don't let like raised deads or resurrections or things like that fly. And he looked kind of different.
Different how?
I don't know. He was like paler and appeared more lean and I saw that his eyes kind of glowed this reflective yellow in the moonlight.
Did he have his protector with him?
Yeah. Asira, yeah.
Did she look? Arabella asked, did she look any different?
No, not that I could tell. He did, though. And I saw him going into the building where the Umbral Court meets.
And when was this?
This was like... This was like... the day before yesterday?
Wow. I can cast a certain location on him. Now, if he's alive, they'll tell me where he exactly is.
Do we have any idea of what would do that to someone, change their physical
If he came back as an
appearance?
undead.
Do their eyes glow yellow?
Could we make like a knowledge roll, like a
Well, if
religion
you're
or something?
Yeah,
if you're trying to
what would cause
do religion, you could roll religion.
Could I do like an arcane or spellcraft to see if there's a spell he was using to make his eyes yellow?
Sure.
Yeah, that's... No, I'm not the smart one.
So Brianna, it's really hard to tell what it could be because
Sure.
you're not looking at him, you're not there with him. It's certainly possible he could be some kind of undead, but what that would be is difficult to know.
Gotcha.
Possessed.
Dalibor, arcane wise, the reflective eyes probably indicates that it could be a couple things. You think arcane sight, but that typically makes their eyes blue, not yellow.
Right.
True seeing sometimes makes their eyes look different, or it could be, since she said it reflected in the moonlight, maybe he has dark vision. No. Whether he used a dark vision spell or he just has dark vision. Arabella, there are a number of things that he could be, that goes through your head. There are you met Zenobia was a Penangalan, which she was able to disguise herself as a normal human during the day, and then she ripped in half at night.
Yeah.
There are blasphemous creatures born from heretical clerics known as Huecubas, but Sial wasn't a holy man. So it's unlikely that was him, but they look like they do in life. And of course, the other one, which would be a common creature in Night Owl, is he could be a vampire. which would mean he would be, if he were a vampire, he was a summoner, he would be immensely more powerful.
Yeah.
Or at least he would make a very potent vampire.
Right.
Maybe he'll look on this turn of events as the boon.
I don't think vampirism makes you any more gracious than you were in life. But maybe. I mean, it could also be somebody wearing his skin from his corpse, but if his summoned is there.
I will look at Leori. Was there anything else you wanted to mention? You seemed like you were keeping things secret for later surprise.
Well, seeing where he was going and watching him over the few days, I get the sense that he's joined the Umbral Court. Anybody who has local could roll that to know exactly what that means.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Felt like we've.
Oh,
yeah. Miles,
I was pretty sure we
not
had
heard of
discussed it
that
before, but that could have been a different game.
So, Naveen, Ciel had originally introduced himself as a Shadow Count, which means he was a noble. That doesn't really mean anything in the hierarchy of, I mean, it means something in the hierarchy of Night Owl society, but it doesn't mean he necessarily governs. If he's a part of the Umbral Court, that essentially now means he's the equivalent of a senator over the country of Night Owl and would wield tremendous political power.
I suppose he could make good on that threat about us not giving them the crown if he is part of the Umbral Court. But if we're all dead in a week, it won't really matter.
True story.
Would Night Owl potentially side with Karzuk, though?
Out of character question. Did Brianna hear anything about Karzug?
This is the first time you've heard this name.
Is the name in and of itself known enough? Like,
you could make a history or arcana.
Ooh, I actually have history.
So when we see the look of Brianna's face, like confused, I will then introduce and be like, "Oh, Brianna, this is Miles. This is Sephi. Sephi, Miles. This is our friend Brianna. Was part of our original group that helped save the city."
Hi.
Greetings.
Brianna, you actually, that name does ring a bell to you. Karzu, you've heard of that in the history books and what he was his association with Thassalon and his position in Thassalon and who he was.
Wait. What is it? Isn't Karzug some sort of rune lord? Didn't they die out like thousands of years ago or something?
Did none of our people tell you? They're
he managed
awake.
to survive.
He's awake. He's coming here. We've got 10 days. Give or take.
Well,
it's not just Karzug.
No.
It's an entire giant army that my party and I have been trying to rally all of Varisia against. And that is why we are currently here, Sephi and I, along with our sister Irie, who is off on something else at the moment. But
And
Sorry,
Sephi
can you
also
go
speak
back a
up. There's
second?
dragons too.
Did you say army of? Well, of course there's dragons. Sure, why not? Because of course, fuck our
ancient
life.
blue
Of course
dragon,
there
yeah.
would be
Yeah.
ancient blue. Oh my god!
It's not the
Why
first
did?
dragon with him that we've killed or will have to kill. But yes, you were getting to giant army about 2,000 at our best estimate, along with one extremely powerful giant that we know of that's with them called a rune giant that commands them all. There may be more of those or not.
Additionally,
go
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I have the bunny if you have the True Scene spell, and then you can see what it looks like. But it's a little bit traumatic.
It won't fit in this room. That's how big it is. But, yeah, sorry to
Additionally,
throw it all on you.
Larissa is soon to give birth, and the Cinderlands are in the path of Karzuk.
We're going to be going there in a few days to fight with them, so that we can get them to convince to come here with us. It's just a scouting party. If we can save them from the scouting party and fight them off, we can add their army to our ranks. At least that's the hope.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
You know how Larissa had the magic that aged her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that magic was imbued while she was pregnant, and it's imbued on child.
Oh, so that's why she's ready. Okay. Sure. Yeah,
That's the standing
honestly,
theory anyhow.
With everything else that you've all said in the past 5 minutes, that is the least odd thing I think of everything that was said here. All right. I'll Does the king know?
Yes.
Yes, you've been seeing lots of changes lately in town, and a lot of those are because of it.
Well, and to be honest, I've been kind of working on the hospital project, which Lord knows we'll need it now. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Side note to the GM: does Sephi recognize Brianna from her vision?
Oh, yes.
The presence Brianna gives off is very similar to the one you felt viewing or in this vision with you.
But not the one when Naveen was fighting the other entity.
Yeah, because there were
It was just Naveen.
3 people.
Yeah.
It was Larissa. I don't know who exactly it was. I didn't see the vision.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
So yeah, Sephi will say, you haven't gotten like a weird vision lately where you felt like you were seeing it with like 2 other people?
Roll an intelligence check, Brianna.
Oh, that's like a straight int roll.
Yeah.
2.
You don't remember that.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, I do worship Desna, so like, we're pretty.
You haven't had visions, but you've been having some dreams, but you don't remember them because they're dreams,
Yeah.
You wake up, you forget them.
But I guess I not that I know of, and I kind of feel like Desna would reach out to me if they were important.
Oh wow, your god actually talks to you?
Has
Yeah, he just glanced
in
at
the
Leori.
has in the past.
Oh. Huh.
And actually, as I say that, I am totally not looking at Leori, like not even glancing in her direction.
You see Sephi, like Leori is just like this shade hovering behind Brianna, and as she's answering you, you see Leori just kind of.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, wink,
Great.
huh?
And I mean,
Miles.
Brianna even has like a star knife on her belt. Like, she looks very Desmond.
Yeah, I guess I'll roll a knowledge religion so Seppi understands that there are two different religions. Huh. Peace.
Miles
they're
is just curious
definitely-
about those weird side books.
You needed a
19.
12 to know that she is likely touched by two different religions.
Okay. Wow, you must be really special then.
So I got that going.
Sorry, it felt appropriate.
It is.
It was.
Well, I mean, I've definitely been gifted with some abilities to help people, so that's what I do.
Did you hear the other news that happened?
Oh.
Okay, so army of giants, a rune lord, Sial's alive, Larissa's pregnant and about to give birth. Oh, and an ancient blue dragon?
Which is part of the giant army, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I feel like I miss a.
And all of the
hippogriffs
are not dead. There's some babies.
They're all back.
Well, that's good news.
Yep. Yeah, I cast a miracle. I don't really understand how it works, but I cast a miracle and I think Pharasma probably heard me. Well, yeah, I know it was her because there's a spiral in the sky, duh. But yeah, and she made babies.
And just for Brian, this is Sephi saying this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad's gonna love that. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Well, I guess praise Pharasma, or
Pharasma's pretty impressive.
Pharasma's fantastic. Saved our bacon a few times.
So, you're going to take this news of Sial's return to the king.
Well, I guess that's Arabella. So we should tell him because he's part of the Umbral court, potentially.
Yeah, and he made some threats about attacking if we didn't give him the crown or parts of the crown or something.
There's also the whole part about the deal with the red mantises, and if he's alive, then that job may not have ever been finished.
Well,
yeah, I guess I could go this is Arabella talking. I guess I can go re-dominate Keltania.
Yeah, that's right. Because we did that via you dominating the crap out of him.
Well, Keltania wanted mental freedom, and I said I would give it to her if she did this job.
She also said she'd come back and kill you immediately afterwards.
I mean,
but she hasn't done yet, so.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to. I know you are a very powerful spellcaster, but I mean, Nidal's also known for having a lot of magically capable beings. If Cial's alive, do you think maybe they dispelled it, like anti-magic whammied her?
I mean, they could have. It's possible. I mean, I could send her a message and ask her.
Do we want to get back on her radar?
Really.
Maybe before we go to the king, I'll cast a certain location and we'll actually confirm that he's alive. I think proof of life would be. Not that I don't trust Leori. So yeah, I'll cast a certain location on Cial.
Okay.
Out of character, is Petra here too?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Fair.
And the new Kegger is here too.
Who?
Kegger. He's a homunculus that looks like a beer keg with arms and legs and a little face and a big mustache.
I love that so much. That is awesome.
And there's a half-built homunculus sitting in the alchemy lab. So plan is to inform the king of assassins and stuff that we dealt with that really doesn't really affect him too much. Other than there might be assassins after us.
And are they coming after us, or are they going to attack the city because we didn't uphold a promise?
Well, or
did the city make the promise? Or does he not care?
We might have made it on behalf of the city.
Well, what if he convinces the Umbral Court to side with Karzug in exchange for getting this artifact?
Yeah, that's the point that I'm worried
That
about.
would be you're already, if you got 2,000 giants, you're already kind of effed. And if Nidal attacks you from the south while he attacks you from the north, it's already over.
And Arabelle will also bring up, and just because there's a red mantis, it's more likely from, I think, a political court standpoint that they're going to think it's somebody like a king or somebody with political authority sending the red mantis after them versus us. Because normally when you hire a red mantis, and Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, it has to be through like a king or a ruler.
Not necessarily. The verbiage on kings and rulers is the red mantis don't assassinate rightful rulers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Which means Marcus on the throne right now would be safe from direct assassination attempts.
Yeah, I think the for us it was the fact that the queen hired the assassins, and so they have to fulfill that unless the person
fulfill the obligation to the queen.
Yeah, unless the person who hired them did whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why the king was gonna, if they come back, he can try and pull back that assassination and renegotiate or something.
Okay. Yeah, he's alive. He's in the Umbral Court now.
Cool.
Yikes.
Dalbor goes, wait, the crown, right? The concern for the crown was Kazavan, yes? I say to the group.
Yeah. He wanted to recover the fangs of Kazavan.
Yep.
And as I recall, wasn't that also a big blue dragon?
Dalbor pulls out the little poem thing.
Okay.
Kazavan. And he points, the Conqueror? Is he not also dubbed the Conqueror? Wasn't that on his painting in the castle? The painting of him when he was in the form of man?
Would that be an int check
That would be it. Wow.
or a
In
history?
check if you're trying to remember something specific, but it'd be history to know if that is a title of what Kazavan's titles might be, or if he is referred to as a conqueror historically.
My role is for the history check.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is also history.
I don't have history.
See if 19 makes it.
About a nobility.
This would be history. So Brianna and Arabella, Dalibor, you are not it. You don't.
I mean, I'm the one that
recall.
thought it, but I know you said some of the there's a little wishy-washy ability on that poem thing and trying to translate it. So
You pose the question, but it's a question you pose rather than an answer you have.
Right.
But Brianna and Arabella it's a 15. You know that his titles, Kazavan's titles historically are the Despot of Tam Ravenna and the Conqueror of Belkzen.
Oh, okay.
because the poem says the Conqueror's awakening. So perhaps we are wrong. The Conqueror might not be Karzug. It might be Kazavan. And that makes this whole situation with Ciel much, much worse.
Yeah.
I hand it to Leori. The write-up.
Kind of looks at it.
It's prophecy. Entire city of, what was the name of the city up there?
Karamaga.
The entire city of Karamaga. Every person with magical divination capabilities gets this as their response. Nothing else. Not even if it's related to what they're doing. Even if they're not powerful enough to cast divination magic that gives them this.
Oh, I was never good at deciphering these cryptic messages. That's why I almost never prepared those spells.
No, but if you see anything that makes sense to you that we might not catch.
It's out of character. Did we determine that the City of Secrets is Karamaga?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was Karamaga or
Magnamar,
Magnamar, but out of character.
You know that the City of Secrets is a name of Kirmaga. That is a common name to it in the Inner Sea.
Well, there's that piece, I think.
Yeah, I mean the relics of yore then would be
all of the pieces,
all the pieces of the crown,
or of Kazavan's body.
Yeah. The crown is just one part.
I realize this is Brian asking out of character. What happened to Cerithiel?
I have it.
It's- Yeah,
Okay.
it's sheathed at Naveen's side.
Okay.
So Miles, Kazavan is ancient dragon who worshipped Zon-Kathan, and that many of the people from Leori's sect are trying to keep from coming back because of his, how would you put it, Leori? Insane take on the religion? However, there are also many
Well,
that want him to come back.
it wasn't really popular opinion to stop him from coming back. It was the church is kind of split, but most of them, he's like a saint for Zon-Kathan. So it's kind of a hot take that that you don't want him to come back because he draws undue, scrutiny on the faith and causes problems for the faith in the inner sea. Kind of a hot take.
And these relics, we had one, and if you get them all together, apparently he comes back.
So essentially, history is best left as history.
And if he's the conqueror, and this prophecy everyone's getting is about
Links to
him,
him.
then this part with Sial is very important to that riddle.
So not only are we currently looking at Karzug breathing down our neck, potential Umbral Court and Nadal siding with Karzug, therefore Pincer attacking us, plus the potential revival of an ancient dragon that worships Zon-Kathan.
Yeah.
He was getting worse and worse by the day. Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like this is. Is it time to drink now? Is that what we should be doing? I feel there should be a drink involved at some point.
Well, I think that's technically tonight.
Fair enough.
Well,
If you got the invite. I don't know who all was invited.
There's some high society thing going on.
Ugh, I still need to meet with Jagari long before that happens. I should have done that a few days ago.
Well, maybe we update the king this morning, get that out of the way.
and then maybe drink after.
Yeah. Well, and it might be good to let him know in case, I don't know, I guess if they have any communication from the Umbral Court. The other thing is we separated the Crown of Fangs.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we destroyed it, and then we each took a piece of it and did something with it. And then look at Miles and Stephanie and go, and Leori and Ciel came to us trying to get it. We trusted Leori, but we did not trust Ciel.
Yeah, he was kind of a grump.
And he tried
Stick
to
in the mud.
and he tried to kill us all.
Yeah.
And by all, I mean all, including Leori.
Yeah, but I mean, who hasn't taken a shot at Leori every now and then?
You haven't,
haven't
yet.
yet.
I'm still waiting for our special time, soul sister.
Brianna bites her tongue.
All right. So next step is what?
Well, I think we should at least tell. If we don't tell Marcus, maybe tell Neil Landis.
Yeah, maybe tell Neil Landis and he can relay the message if he feels it's important. And we can clarify any questions the king may have. King's got plenty on his plate already. We don't need to tell him about possible incoming assassins all the way up to Ancient Dragon just as powerful as the Rune Lord.
Yeah, well, we gave him the riddle, right?
I believe so.
By the by, Kazavon was a great worm.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the oldest category of dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they exist within the same timeline? Like, did they exist at the same
Karzug
time?
and Kazavon?
Yeah.
Kazavon is earliest written about 700 years ago.
So no.
So no.
Not even close.
Kazavon is Karzug is way before his Kazavon's time.
All right.
So,
Start heading out.
Yeah.
And
You
Brian,
head
I
out
did send you the prophecy via GChat, so you have access to that.
Gotcha.
It's also in our forum thing now with some notes on it, so people can feel free to add notes.
You inform Neil Landis, and probably the first thing he asks is, what is he all going to want? What is the chance that you think he can convince the Umbral Court to side with the Rune Lord?
I guess Arabelle will speak up and say, if he did die and somebody brought him back to life and changed him as a different type of being, like a vampire per se, then either he made a deal with someone or someone wants him alive. That's very powerful. So even though it's one person, I would say they would probably either have a lot of pull themselves or have someone very powerful backing them. As a guess.
So he's not working alone. He'd be more of maybe a mouthpiece or the front of a faction altogether.
That's what, because like from Arabelle's knowledge, in order to become a vampire, have somebody change like your form, like there's not like a contingency for that. Like somebody would have to purposely do that to you or some entity.
Yeah, I mean, part of the process is you die.
Yeah.
Because you become an undead.
So somebody made him an undead. And to make one of that level, you would have to be very powerful. Or have a lot of connections.
I look at Brianna and Sephi. Could you divinate that?
Sorry, what did you ask?
Could you divinate? Yes or no questions?
What is Sephi? Sephi will lean over to Brianna and be like, what does that mean?
He's asking if maybe we have the spells to be, or magic to be able to divine an answer.
Oh, I have a pen.
And admittedly, Brian, it's been a couple of years since Brian played Brianna, so I'm checking her spells to see. But from what I can see, Probably not. Yeah. I don't have access to that magic directly, but I could in a few days' time. Well, wait. When was the battle with Iliosa? How long ago was that?
5 days, 6 days.
Yeah, the actual defeat of Iliosa was almost a week ago, so 6 days.
Okay, so technically that ability is once a day, so I could use it, but I don't know if I want to. I could maybe reach out to an outsider to come aid us in that who might have the ability to divine that.
I mean, I have a quill. I get 1 free question a day. I don't know who answers, but they've been pretty helpful so far.
Oh.
Leori's in town.
I'm right here.
Hey, haven't you helped us with conversing with your god?
I could, yeah. I could, I guess.
Is your god? I don't know.
I
if
can't
Erica-
actually think of the last time I did that for you guys. Did I actually do that?
It could have been a Shawnee, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, I could certainly certain.
I mean, of all of the deities that we all, as a group, follow, yours would probably know the best, given the circumstances.
Not that I can cast a spell. Mine might also as well. You know, to keep the dead things dead.
Yeah, I guess the question is Zon-Gathon gonna be like,
You're on your own?
yeah, or like, hey, you're on the wrong side right now.
I don't have that spell prepared today.
Okay, Sephi will write down. What's the question I'm writing down?
Oh, we can either ask whether or not Cial is turned into some other monster, or we can ask if it is the same Cial that was before.
Would Arabella know from her discern location that if it was a different Cial, that if her spell would have failed?
I mean, it would tell you nothing if he has transformed himself into another creature. It would not come back if it was somebody disguised as him. Like, you would not get the result you did if this was a doppelganger disguised as Cial.
But if he were, say, a vampire, he's still Cial.
Yep. So Sephi will be like, should we just ask if Cial is a vampire?
Is that the important question, or is it his intentions?
Oh,
Can you ask a more detailed question like what is Cial's intentions?
I think it's yes or no. Well, let me look at the item. Because it comes back in a poem.
What has her sister told us about that?
It's a divination.
Yeah, my internet's being really slow. Is the divination the yes or no? Or is that can it be more cryptic? Or
It's the divination spell?
Yeah.
Let me look it up here.
I got it right here. Similar to augury, but more powerful, a divination spell can provide you with a useful piece of advice in reply to a question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity that is to occur within 1 week. The advice granted by the spell can be as simple as a short phrase, or it might be the form of cryptic rhyme or omen. If your party doesn't act on the information, the conditions may change so that the information is no longer useful. The base chance for the correct divination is 70%, plus 1% per caster level to a maximum of 90%. So I'm guessing it's based on the item. If the die roll fails, you know that the spell has failed, unless specific magic yielding false information is at work. As with augury, multiple divinations about the same topic by the same caster use the same dice result as the first divination spell and yield the same answer each time.
So I could ask, is Cial using his position in the Umbral Court to side with the Rune Lord of Greed? Or to suggest that Nidal...
What does it need to be a yes or no question?
Didn't look like it necessarily needed to for the divination one, but
So you could just ask
No.
what Cial is trying to do with the Umbral Court in regards to us and Corvosa.
yeah.
Because he might not even know about the Rune Lord yet.
In regards
True.
to Corvosa and its heroes. Okay, I just typed it out in the chat. Let me know if there's any suggestions.
I think that's fine. I don't know
I think
about
it's
the
a
rest
pretty
of you.
straight. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good.
Okay. So what Safi does is she opens up a notebook and she writes that question on the notebook. And then lets go of the quill.
You can see this quill is like a long peacock feather. And she writes it and the ink is black, and as it moves down to a lower line and it starts writing in red in a green color.
Okay.
Steffi, have we used the quill for its other, like the other abilities in the last week?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So if we get a list of questions.
Yeah. Could ask more specific questions that could be yes or no. That is another thing that our sister Irie has done with the quill before too.
I just thought of something funny. While the quill is writing, I will look at Leori. I'm like, oh, there's also a group of adventurers that might need you for some sort of darkness spell magic.
Okay.
If I see them, I will make sure to send them your way.
That's evil.
Oh, it's something about some sort of item that needs to be something in the darkness. They thought about going to Nightall, but...
Not really a vacation spot.
No, right. I don't think they had the time.
Oh.
Pardon me.
This is the GM's least favorite item.
Yeah, I fucking hate this item.
Because not only does he have to provide the information, he has to put it in riddle form.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as the riddle sphinx that I think Min had to throw at us in his campaign.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did find a website for a random prophecy generator. I can't say it'll work specifically to what you needed to say, but
Actually, random
if you want to
prophecy
throw out
gen-
random stuff, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
that could actually be kind of fun if you were to do like a one-off or a whole campaign based on prophecies.
Right?
Oof. New adventure every time. Hmm.
It could be fun.
Bum, 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 ba-da.
Oh, smoke on the
Oh,
water.
here we go. What?
What does that mean?
The Shadow Count's position on the war's deposition is undecided in relation to his goals. He wishes to gather the relics in your mist, crown, and also initiate Zon Kavan's Shade Kissed.
I look at
That is not Zonkathon.
Oh, what is it?
Zavakians.
Zavakians.
Or Zovakane, Zavakian, yeah.
Is there knowledge on what the hell what that is?
Planes.
Ooh.
Not my forte.
Because I just glance at Brianna, shade kissed.
Right.
Oh.
Holy moly!
Holy moly! Look at that nat 20.
What?
Wow.
Oh, if I can. Come on. There. 48.
Wow. Okay. Looks like everyone got this one. Zovakane is the home of Zonkathon in the depth of the netherworld, which is the shadow plane. It is formed by the Midnight Lord during his time in exile. It is a lightless steel labyrinth of hopelessness and suffering.
So then what is the shade kissed of that? Unless
Above the table question. Did the rest of us know about the last thing with Brianna and the ride situation? Or was that just a Brianna thing?
That's a great question. I don't remember. I don't have no idea.
Oh,
The what situation?
So are you talking about the vision that Sephi had? Yeah.
No, at the end of Crimson
At
Throne.
the end of Crimson Throne, there was like a vision or something. Yeah.
Oh.
Or wasn't there?
Yeah. I think just Brianna had that.
I think I do remember her sharing that, though.
Yeah, it probably did because I'm sure it wigged the shit out of me, out of Brianna.
Yeah, I think you actually, now that you mention it, I think you did, but I think you only shared it to a couple people. You didn't share it with everyone. I think you shared it with Larissa and Naveen.
Okay. I'm trying to think though as Brian, it's been a few years, so I don't remember all of it, but I want to say, wasn't it like the Bride of Zonkathon or something fucked up
I
like
think
that?
you were the bride of, or she was the bride of Cial, if I'm remembering that right. Or was Cial giving her away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how I was giving her away. That's right.
I'm gonna look at Brianna Shade Kissed? That's your name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is how do you get initiated?
Oh, initiate. Oh.
Initiated for what? Does it have to do with that vision?
Of it, uh, I don't know.
Well, at least we know his whole goal is to get you, Brianna, which we know your take on that. So, is to
And
get
we
you.
And the
Well,
relics.
the way I look at it is we killed Sion once. Well, we've defeated him several times, and we've supposedly killed him at least once. We'll deal with him again if we get to it.
So, another side note, Dundee, and I'll look at the noble guy. I forget. Not the king. Calpoplis. I'm like, lots going on, lots of moving parts. Our friend Sephi had a vision, and do you remember the Ifrit that you told to?
That I told I didn't want to marry? Yeah.
Yes, apparently in this vision, he is much bigger, much stronger, much badder, and is laying waste to things on the side of Karsog. Do I get that right, Steffi?
Yeah, there was an Ifrit, and he was fighting Naveen,
Yes.
and it was kind of epic, but kind of scary, and it was a desolate waste in the cinder. I'm assuming the Cinderlands. I've never been.
In Brianna's head, I just hear Larissa saying, "This is why we can't have nice things." Like, I just hear that. I hear her voice say that.
Wow. I realize I'm just coming into this, but I would just say after meeting you, Brianna, I would just you're pretty popular with like a lot of beings, and I would, that's like a good thing, right?
Oh, poor Calpopoulos.
I don't envy your position at all.
I look over at your homunculus. Is like, so how do you get the liquor out of? I'm gonna need a, and then just kind of walks off to the kitchen area. And just kind of starts babbling to herself, or mumbling to herself, I should say.
So I think more we tell the king that there might be somebody coming for the relics and for Brianna.
Well, we've heard nothing so far about, and we've heard nothing from Nidal so far.
Well, let's hope that stays that way.
The Umbral Court is very large. I'm skeptical that one person alone could convince the entire court to action on something. Though, if he is a mouthpiece for a faction, then that changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we leave it in your discretion how much you want to burden the king with this.
He should know. I'll tell him.
Well, Was there anything else as a group that we needed to tell the Seneschal?
It's all awful.
For the moment, we'll be back in 10 minutes probably. Or, at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m.
So, you separate your ways.
Yep.
Dalibor, I believe you have something you need to deal with Jagear.
Correct.
And it sounds like it's the earlier the better.
Yes.
And it's already pretty early.
So you could go over to the Jagear Museum. It's not open yet, but there's a good chance with it being the day of the event that they're probably there early setting things up.
Right.
At least Jagear and probably people that are in the Order of Benevolent Hearts.
Yeah. I will go there.
Okay. You arrive, you can see that it looks like there's a wagon that they are unloading crates. Laborers are unloading crates and the door is propped open to the museum. Looks like they're maybe bringing in food or something. You can't really tell what it is in the crates.
Okay.
But you could just walk in.
I will just walk in.
Okay. You walk in and you see you do see Jagear is Merciful is directing the laborers. He's like, put that box over there and we need the other ones. The food will go over here. And he looks over and he says, Mr. Malorv, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Do you have a moment to talk in private before the show?
I do, yes. Of course.
I'll walk with him off to the side. Somewhere where people can't listen.
As you're walking with him, he's like, I can always spare a moment for my most generous donor.
I'm very excited about the show, by the way. Many people are coming to see it. We have many nobles who we didn't think were going to come might be showing up today.
I'm as well. It seems like there could be a showing from nobility out of town arriving.
Excellent. And once we get out of earshot of people, I say,
yeah,
the situation with the queen, while over with, is their situation worse than that ever could have been. You probably have heard rumors rumbling.
Well, I have heard gossip that there is lots of activity with giants on the Storville Plateau, but that is a long ways. That is a far distance from where we are.
You are a historian, correct? Do you remember much about the Rune Lords?
Well, yes. They were the ancient overlords of the mystical empire of Thassalon.
Yes. And I speak quietly.
He's like, why, in fact, this area and much of where the sea is sunken and was domain.
If he's about to say the name, I cover his mouth.
He goes, Rune Lord Sort, and you cover his mouth, and you're like, oh, that's not the Rune Lord.
Oh, thank you. Don't say their names. One of them is alive and back and gathering an army of giants. We have seen the army. We have seen his people. And we know people who have already fought him once and failed.
That is both preposterous and spectacular. The empire fell over 10,000 years ago. They would all be long dead. Earthfall destroyed them. Have you seen this? No?
No. We know of people. We have seen things. What did Miles call the place that he fought them? that area, the city.
Zinshalost?
Yeah.
Zinshalost, yeah.
Some of them have been to Zinshalost and fought him and lost. And
Well,
now
that
that
could make
army
a
is marching. And now that army is marching this way. Do not speak of this to anyone. The king is dealing with it, but we need your help. We need
Why
your
are you
show's help.
telling me this?
Because I point to the door where the displays and stuff are going to be. The evil things that Kazavan did, his history, his legacy. It is very similar to what is going to happen here in the city when Karzug comes through. The nobles, the people in power, they're going to need to be able to see what an aftermath would be of someone like a Karzug would be. The destruction, the terror, all of the things that you are putting in your show. We wanted to lean a little bit so they will understand when we reveal later this week what is coming. Your show is very intricate into what is going to happen if we don't put our best foot forward in defending the city.
Well, the Gallery of Tyranny is not just a historical venue, but the Order of Benevolent Hearts also wishes to use it as a lesson to society about the dangers of dictators and despots.
I nod. Exactly. This show is a focal point for us to try and raise the funds and the needs to get our armies prepared. Your show might be the most important social event in the history of Korvosa ever. And the future of this entire city and the nation of Varzia. If this show goes well and can help point the nobles in the direction of helping the future cause, this show will be in the museum 100 years from now telling the histories of how this show saved Korvosa.
Are all the heroes of Korvosa in attendance to this event? It would certainly aid in...
The majority of them, yes. Larissa won't be able to join because, well, she is having a child.
I see.
But otherwise, yes. And I believe the king himself is coming as well.
Yes, I did receive an invitation from King Marcus, King Andrin.
I didn't want you to be left out in the cold. I wanted you to know. I wanted to let you know a few days ago, but we've been trying to rouse an army.
Well, what should I do with this information?
If conversations come up, just say, imagine if this happened to our city. Imagine if this happened to our area. That is all. Don't spread the rumors. Just put it in the context of if Kazavan came here.
I think Korvosa knows better than any other Varizian city what it's like to be under the heel of a tyrant.
Those who fail to remember history are doomed to repeat it. Is that your saying? Here in Varizia? Maybe that's an Andoran saying. Either way, it's something like that.
I suppose.
Those who forget the past? Something along those lines. Is there anything you need from me?
I don't think so. We're just putting on our finishing touches through the day, so food preparation and I don't think we need anything else.
I'm sorry to break it to you this way, but I also... You trust me, and I feel that if I didn't tell you, it would be breaking your trust and the friendship we have.
Well, you can certainly count on House Jaguar's support.
I appreciate that. I can't give you too many more details, but information will come, and you will know, and your show is going to be amazing, and I look forward to the things you put in it.
I think it should be eye-opening, to say the least.
It will be. Have you invited any people from the religion of Mzan-Kathan? Or do you think it would be counterproductive?
I don't believe any invitations went out to Nidal that I am aware of.
Do you think having a priestess of Zan-Kathan here would be a
Although
hindrance?
There are some very strange destinations of attendance. I mean, I can't say that I've ever had a Brevik emissary come to any of my shows.
Is he wait, sense motive, is he talking about me and my dad or somebody else?
He said an emissary from Brevoy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm making sure he's not mispronouncing and talking about us and talking about someone else.
No, you would be considered Corbosans at this point.
Okay. Who is... Are they already here?
Well, they're not here, but they are in the
coming?
city. They are coming. They accepted an invitation.
Excellent. I can't wait to meet them. Although I probably already know them. They're having meeting with my father, I believe.
Ah. Old ties, he says?
My father used to be the main emissary for Brevoy, for the king, once upon a time. And I was his understudy. The two of us are technically Brevoy nobles who left after the incident. So, do you think having a priestess of Zan-Kathan would be a bad thing for your show?
Are you planning on bringing a priestess of Zan-Kathan?
Well, I have option for +1, and I have a friend in town.
You have an option to plus many.
I
he says.
Understand, but
you may, if you wish to bring a priestess of Zan-Kathan, I would only suggest you not take offense, as we are showing Kazavon's legacy as the facts dictate. And that though somebody of this nature may be important to their faith, it does not discount the atrocities they've committed and that are documented.
All right, so leave her at home because she sometimes is crazy. And she knows it. I would say that to her face, and then she would laugh at me, and then she'd stab me in the hand with a knife. Anyhow, I wish you would
prefer nobody to get stabbed.
Best of luck. Well, you haven't lived unless you live with pain. I think that's a good impersonation of her. As I open the door.
Okay. Okay. What is, just kind of go through, what is everybody else's day leading up to the event like? Naveen, we'll start with you. Anything you would be doing to get prepared for the Gallery of Tyranny.
I would, if Dalavor was available, I would probably try to do a quick study of the different nobility folks, because that is not my strong suit. And if I'm going to be rubbing elbows, I probably need to brush up on that. And then maybe if there's time before doing that, just checking to see if Brianna was okay after the revelation.
So you know that Brianna has spent a lot of time at the hospital, and you know exactly where this hospital is. So now that she's shared that, you are able to go over to what was once the hospice of the Blessed Maiden, and you can see the doors open, and it looks like some people are hanging out sheets on the outside of the building that have been washed. But the door's open and you can enter.
Okay, I'll go in.
Okay. You enter in and go through the waiting room, and in the big area where most of the beds are, you can see Brianna is currently folding some of the laundry to be taken outside by laborers.
I wanted to see if you were okay. We've all had a bunch of time to process, and we dropped a lot of information on you.
Yeah, it's a lot. And she kind of sits down on the edge of one of the beds. And as she's kind of processing, talking to it, you see her hand just kind of reaches down and scritches Petra, like without really like paying attention to it. But I mean, when haven't we had some sort of like city threatening event though? Like with Iliosa and everything else, I don't know. I was kind of hoping we'd have a bigger break than the next apocalypse happening within a couple of, like, can we not at least get like a week off before the next apocalypse? Like, it's a lot.
It is. It's too much.
I'm just worried for all the people. Like, we were just starting to rebuild after everything we went through with Iliosa. And it's,
And how are they going to take having another incursion?
Right.
And God, I wish Larissa had magic. Because, like, I don't know. I kind of miss hanging out with you two. And Arabella sometimes. Though not as much.
Well,
like, you guys are my best friends.
Yeah, I miss you guys too.
So anyway, I have a school. It's gonna cost like 30,000 to rebuild. You know, assuming we all survive. Our armory's like 80 people. So, you know, doing well there too.
In a school of badass sword fighting, I'm assuming?
What else would it be?
Well, that being said, I imagine I'll maybe see some of the students here.
Only the bad ones. Anyway, it's good to see you again, Brianna.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
And if you don't want to go to Zonkathon or have anything to do with that red beast, you know we'll do everything we can.
I know. I mean, hey, we'll probably get stomped into paste by an army of giants. So I mean, it's kind of a moot point to think about worrying about it at this point anyway, right? And don't forget the dragon. Fuck the dragon. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, admittedly, the one nice thing about this place is it tends to keep me busy, so my mind doesn't think about things too hard.
I get that. You should go visit the hippogriff babies, though.
Yeah, that is the best news I've heard. I will definitely have to do that. Plus, I'm sure my dad would love a visit.
We all survive. That might be worth it.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to learn how to be diplomatic in
Well,
the next 6 hours.
I'll tell you what. Not that I'm great at it by any means, but if you need a wing person, just give the signal.
Will do. I'll go find myself a Dalavor.
You're going to be spending some time getting etiquette lessons and teachings of how to conduct yourself in court with Dalavor, and he's just like, where do I begin?
How do I ask them to give me money?
How to distill a trade gathered over 30 years of time in 6 hours. Crash course begin. Arabella and Sephi, what are the two of you doing?
I don't know. Safi would be pretty simple. Kind of as everybody leaves, she's gonna see if Neil Landis has a minute.
Okay. You can see as everybody leaves and you pull Neil Landis to the side, he perks just ever so. What do you have for sense motive?
A 20.
Plus 20.
I think so. Hey, hold please. Yeah, plus 20.
Amazing that you didn't pick up on what he was saying before. He perks up a bit. Yes.
I don't know if we broached the topic yesterday. There was a lot of information that you gave me, which I'm still working. Getting all this family signatures from my family might take me a little bit. I'm sure I can get Miles to sign today, and I already signed the paperwork. I don't know, this might be kind of forward, but I was wondering if you wanted me to go with you to the party tonight, or if that I'll be honest, like I am not very good with nobility stuff. Like when I went out with the Lord Mayor, it was not anything serious at all, but whatever. When I went out with him, I kind of embarrassed him
The
a
Lord
little
Mayor.
bit. Yeah, Magnamar.
Haldmir Grobaris?
Yes.
You went out with the Lord Mayor of Magnamar?
Yeah. Yep, I did. Like I said, not even serious. I don't think he even knows my name. Me as Pretty Blonde Girl number 3.
I see.
But yeah, I did it so that I could get an in with the council there, like a go, so then we could talk to them about the Karzug situation.
I see. Make a diplomacy check.
Think. Oh, shoot. Of course, I do this in the Twitch chat and not in the actual Roll20.
Oh, Rach.
I had to change the color of my Roll20 so it wasn't the same color as
Yeah.
Twitch, because I used to do that all the time.
I still do it, and they're different colors for me.
Arabella got a 32.
Safi.
He looks to you and he says, I would be delighted to have you as my date.
Okay, and if I do anything wrong, you just tell me. I won't be offended. Like, I think I'm just being perfectly honest with you. I'm pretty sure somebody called me quaint, and I think that was bad. No, she said rustic.
Oh. Well, I would not use that term to describe you.
Okay. Well, should I meet you here at the castle or?
I'll come pick you up. I'll bring a carriage to your staying at the Golden Key.
Yep.
I'll pick you up with my carriage there.
Okay. Sounds good. Kind of awkward, but Miles is a little bit protective. Would you be okay if he attended too?
Make another diplomacy check. This one is higher than the other one.
I'm gonna be honest, she probably wouldn't even have to ask. Miles would just show up.
Yeah. Miles would definitely follow no matter what anyway.
He might be going with.
His shoulders sag a little bit and he says, yes, your brother may come.
Okay. He might be going with somebody else. So if he's going with somebody else, then he doesn't need to ride with us.
I would confirm that.
Okay. What color are you wearing?
I am wearing a scarlet and black, the
Okay.
colors of the Corvosan monarchy.
Perfect. I will see you later then. And that was Seffi's major plan for the day.
And Arabella? I think I already know what she's going to spend almost the whole day doing.
Yeah, she'll check in quick with Ashani to make sure that he's getting them clothes for tonight
Okay.
to see if he can handle all that or if she needs to be involved.
He can do that.
Okay. Then she's going to go back to the pool. I guess
Okay.
before Brianna, if she can catch Brianna before she leaves, she will cast a mind blank on Brianna.
To be honest, in the fugue state that Brianna was in,
She probably just no consent.
probably didn't even notice.
Huh. Arabella pats you on the shoulder when you guys break.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brianna will actually give her a hug.
Oh.
Before she heads out.
So she just is a backpack mind blank.
Yeah.
Huh.
A 2-tap hug.
So
Yeah.
you return to the Sunken Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 8 hours of studying, which takes you through most of the day, in which case you need to make a spellcraft.
And I get a +6. I have a 9th level spell left, so I will use Moment of Prescience.
Okay.
Just use that same. You said spellcraft?
Yes.
30. $72.
So you spend the day studying, poring over tomes, cross-referencing different libraries, looking at Elios's notes, referencing the Ash Barrow archives, and at the end of it, you are able to discern another piece of what this ritual is. You currently have the casting time and the components, correct?
Yeah,
And
I have the casting time, components, and the backlash.
so you can get the school and level, the skill check required, the range, the target, or the duration, or what happens if it fails. The failure.
I'm gonna do the failure.
If you fail the Waking the Everdawn pool ritual, everyone in the casting area is affected by a symbol of exsanguination, heightened to 9th level. Fortitude negates, except the damage is 20d6 bleed damage, and they are nauseated as long as they continue to take bleed damage. Those who are slain from the symbol have all the blood in their body pulled into the Everdawn pool and cannot be restored to life except by miracle, wish, divine intervention, or similar magic.
Yikes.
Okay. Well, Arabella knows that there's one person in this world that can cast Miracle. She's like, maybe I can bribe her with candy or something. Okay. I'm assuming when that takes up her hours, she will head back to Corosa.
Yeah. And get ready for the party.
Yep. Oh, I guess Steffi would confirm if Miles is going to the party with Dalbor.
Miles, what are you doing for the day leading up to the event?
Well, most of what Miles would do would be just work with the new recruits and chat with Chloe as much as he can to see what she has seen while she had made her way down the steps.
This is the new recruits at Fort Rannick or the new recruits here in Corvosa at the new Engine Academy?
At the new
At
Engine Academy.
Yeah, they need it. So what kind of training or work would you be doing to explain to me a little bit what kind of the training and work you would be doing with them to prepare them to fight giants?
So, as a lot of individuals are aware, giants are obviously, well, giant. And the majority of what I'd be looking for at kind of the early stages is to get the more melee fighters accustomed to the reach that a giant would have, especially one the size of Chloe, so that they can get accustomed to maneuvering around them and avoiding hits, so they don't just flat out get stomped.
Is your aim to bring Chloe to Corvosa for this?
I thought that at the end of the last game we did bring her back.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
And
we
it
did.
worked
okay.
because I think she got we were going to teleport her back with us, and then we were going to take her straight to the academy so that she'd have somewhere to live or be housed.
Chloe vastly outreaches the recruits, even when they are equipped with long spears.
Mm-hmm.
Her Morning Star outreaches them by 5 feet, and thus fighting her in melee is extremely difficult outside of having very special giant hunting equipment. As a Black Arrow, you've heard of weapons kind of like this. Heavy pole arms that are like pikes called sarisa that are used to skewer giants, outranging giants who are like your typical hill giant and stone giant, and fighting on even terms with the reach of giants like a cloud giant or a storm giant, which again isn't ideal either.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense that you will probably want to commission some of these from the weapon makers in the city.
So after training them with Chloe, I'll see if I can work with Naveen or possibly even Dalibor to see if we can get those commissioned. See if that can go on the governance tab. Otherwise, I want to put forth a little bit of gold, but I don't know how much I can really afford for it specifically. But other than that, I'd probably just go and talk with Dalibor at some point.
Okay.
To let him know what my plan is as far as the gala, which would more or less be, eyes and ears, or rather, as they say, the ears have walls, or the walls have ears. Wow. So I'd be kind of blending in and, well, hidden, invisible, maybe hiding in the rafters. Keep an eye out for trouble. See if he has any, if he thinks that might be a bad idea.
Just a bot coming in and getting themselves banned real easily.
So Miles comes to you, quite kind of laying out what his plan is for the gala and asking your advice, Dalibor.
I think, do you have ceremonial attire for your rank within your organization?
We haven't actually said anything specific. Strangely enough, we are all woodsmen, so at best, in the past, the symbol of status was the bow that was held by the previous leader of the Black Arrows that signified him as the leader, but no specific attire or arm.
We should get you a set of at least dress clothes, something that looks somewhat military-esque for the event. This is a high nobles gathering event.
Fair enough.
And we could just, you have a very established rank within an organization that has been around for a while. I can get you an invite. That's not a hard problem. Then you'd have legit reason to be there, and then you could just walk around as you see fit and be the ears you think of. But with the people that are there, if you had planned on sneaking in, well, I don't think you will get caught. If magic happens to be the case, as oftentimes it is, worst case scenarios often tend to be worst case scenarios, and we'd rather not have that happen.
Fair enough. Considering that there are some that know I'm associated with you all, and they might think I'm there to assassinate somebody, especially considering I would likely be dressed in cold gear.
Yes. Let me hook you up with Jenny. She just got done doing a outfit for a customer of mine, and she does freelance work. She could probably hook you up. Do you mention anything about the weapons out of character?
I mean, he's generally pretty forthright, so he would. I mean, if he was going to be there invisible, hanging out on the ceiling or in the rafters, if there was any available, I mean, he would need to be able to put down any.
Oh, I mean, for changing subjects, would you have mentioned about needing weapons, specially made weapons? Would you have mentioned that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be one of the other topics.
You will want to see Mogin at Slicing Dicers. He is Smith, and we have direct deal with him, so he is amenable to us.
Okay.
And so he will probably be able to make whatever it is you're looking for.
Awesome. Yes, these weapons that I have in mind would definitely be able to assist in any sort of melee combat with giants. To extend a standard soldier's reach to be greater or equal to that of some of the larger giants. Although melee combat is not advanced. It's those that find them in melee combat would definitely need some know-how as far as to dodge.
I will go into the front of the shop. And I will take the tag for the Holy Cold Iron Longsword down. And I will hand it to you, Miles. And I'll say, he will take this, and just tell him to make as much as he can out of the value of this, based on our deal. And this, we will put this as part of his inventory.
Very well. Much appreciated. I guess I would.
And that's about 20 grand worth of materials that we'll trade to Morgan because of our friendship.
And I will make my way toward Morgan's place.
He could outfit the recruit army with masterwork, Sarisa, with that. So you go to Dalibor gives you the location. It's a store called Slicing Dicers. It's all sorts of bladed weapons line the walls of this place, and behind the counter at the far end, through this maze of weapons that line this armory that lines the walls, is a dwarf with kind of a graying beard, braided, long hair, also braided kind of at the sides here. You see him. He currently looks like he has got a sword with a bejeweled pommel, and he's got like a little jeweler's glass that he's looking at the blade, the flat of the blade.
Hello, good sir. My name is Miles. I come on behalf of the Endrin Academy as well as an associate of Dalibor. I have a request, if you would be willing to listen.
An associate of Dalibor is already on good terms with me.
It's wonderful. Are you familiar with the polearm called a Sarisa?
I have heard of it, but it's quite an uncommon weapon.
Well,
the counterbalanced pike.
Well, I have. Well, you see, I am the leader of the Order of the Black Arrows. I'm not sure if you're aware of my organization or not, but we defend the town of Turtleback Ferry and the surrounding area from giants. And I am working to pass along the information that we have, I won't say hoarded, but have gained over time to the Corvosan recruit army so that they're aware of how to fight giants. And the Sarisa is a weapon I would like them to get their hands on. So I was looking to see if you would be able to produce a number of them for me.
When do you need it by? And how many do you need?
Let's see here. So out of character, how many were in the recruit army? That's about what, 80?
The army is a total of 300. No, there's 73 guards currently, 24 Sable Company folks. So that's like a little over 100.
Okay.
But my special elite group is like 5.
Hmm. Right.
So about 102.
Probably as close to 100 as I could. Um. So if we're able to make, let's see, how quickly would you be able to make 100 of them?
That depends on how many people I get working on this.
Okay. Mhm.
It'll cost you a little bit for 100 of them. That depends on what kind of quality you need them on, and if you need it, the quicker you need it, the more I'm gonna charge you.
Okay. Hmm. Well, how many would you be able of standard quality would you be able to make within, say, 10 days or a week? Let's go with a week.
A week?
Yes.
Uh,
Is it possible? That is my first question.
um, I suppose it's possible. I'd have to really bring in a lot more people. You're probably looking at about 1,800 gold.
Yeah.
For 100 of them in that time.
Okay. Well, Miles will actually, if you're able to make 100 within a week for 1,800, Miles will actually hand or show him the longsword that Dalibor gave me. Dalibor had passed this along to me to provide to you as payment.
Oh,
You mentioned the two of you have an agreement.
I could probably push the timeline a little quicker if this is what you want to pay with. I'd also be willing to throw in giants, some caltrops with it. Those are typically used and effective at dealing with giants. I could outfit 100 of them as well.
That'd be wonderful. All right. So if you're able to do all of that for me, that'd be fantastic. Um, Once everything is complete, you simply notify Dalibor, and he'll be able to inform me. And then I will be able to get those weapons to the entrance school and begin working with the armor of those.
All right, I'll get started on this right away.
Thank you, good sir.
All right, out with you, he says as he goes into the back, and he's like, hey, you're gonna have to go get Henry, his brother, Jimmy, Walter, get all of their cousins too. We got a lot of work.
Just handed them a giant order.
I kind of figured even if he doesn't sell it right away, being holy sword, he could probably sell it to the church for full price.
Actually, yeah.
To get his money back.
Well, beyond that, I think I've accomplished most of what I've wanted.
So
Other
with
than
that,
befitting.
With that, people are kind of splitting off, doing their own things to get ready for the event, the night's festivities, and we pull the days, the lens right up to the event of the gala, with people gathering and getting ready to go to the Jaeger Museum for the unveiling of the Gallery of Tyranny, Kazavon's Legacy.
Is Chrysidia
And
going?
Chrysidia is on the list.
Okay. Is she going with anyone?
Would you like to ask Chrysidia to go with you?
Yes, Dalibor would do that.
She would accompany you.
Okay.
With that, I think that's where we're going to end tonight's game.
Excellent. Excellent, Smithers. Well, with that being said, let's thank everybody for being here tonight. Everybody joining us, playing the games, chatting, hanging out in chat, enjoying the stories. Thank you to Brian, of course, for surprising everybody with his appearance today. As usual, thank you, Andrew, for running, and thank you to all of our players for playing as well. Appreciate you guys being here. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a stream at noon. It is a specialty stream. It is the news of the paranormal and spooky. Paranormal news and stories events is going to be a special stream tomorrow that you guys all redeemed in the chat. So make sure to come and join us tomorrow, where myself and our special guest, the Blind GM, will be reading and talking about paranormal news, probably poking fun at it, probably having a few drinks as well. So come and join us for that very special stream tomorrow, starting at noon. You guys won't want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to raid
around bullshitting.
We're going to sit around and bullshit for a while, but about stuff specific. And if you guys have paranormal news, stories, UFOs, cryptids, ghost stories, silly stories about that stuff, or serious stories about that stuff, feel free to message me, send it to me on Discord, post it in our paranormal area, and we will read them. If you have your own personal story, you can also post that as well. So any of that kind of stuff, psychic energy and, aliens and all of that. So feel free to share it with me, and we'll do that tomorrow. You can also do it during the stream as well. So thank you guys so much. We are going to raid on out. We're going to go raid our friends over at Dungeon Scrawlers. They're playing Grey Mantle. You guys might recognize the GM, amazing author and friend of the show, Eric Scott DeBee, is running the show. So thank you guys so much for being here. Take care. Good night. And we will see you tomorrow with the news and stories of the paranormal. Have a good one, guys. Bye.